And Colin's here for the Team Tiny Crescent Creations Hop 2. Today we're going to create a flat shaker card using the digital stamps that go out together for holidays. And it has these little penguins, polar bears, little birds, some trees, and a variety of sentiments. And we'll be using the Penguins Play in Snow Claybits mix, also from Crescent Creations. I went ahead and printed out my penguins and my trees and colored them with my Opaque markers and trimmed them away so I have them all set for our card. I went ahead and die cut everything we needed for our card and trimmed all our pieces so we can get going pretty quickly. The sentiment we'll be using is have a cool holiday, and we'll be creating an A2 flat shaker card. Alright, so we have our card base, which is A2, 110 pounds, some pattern paper. I'm going to use that glitter side up. This pattern paper with the snowflakes, and a piece of white cardstock that I trimmed and die cut with snowbank out of white cardstock, and a piece of packaging. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is adhere our snowbank to our pattern paper. I'm going to use Barely Arts glue to do that. I'm also going to bring in some Terra tape when we get to the packaging part of our shaker card. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that, and I want the raised little hill mound in the center. So I'm just getting that lined up, add my Barely Art glue to the back, and place that onto our pattern paper. Then I will cut off the excess snow here. Just use a little trim. I flip it over so it's easier to see, and I'm adjusting, making sure everything's nice and lined up on the edge. And again, our card is going to be an A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and is a side folding or regular folding card. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and again use the Barely Art glue to adhere our pine trees. I'm using the cluster of 2 right here to the left, and the single pine tree over to the right. Get him all glued down, and this is going to be on the inside of our shaker, so that's why I'm using the Barely Art glue, so it'll lay flat. And I'm making sure there's no excess glue anywhere on there. So I wipe it away. It's easy to do because this pattern paper has like a glossy finish, so it's really quick. You wipe it away, it'll be perfect. There's our little penguins. We're going to have them towards the top of our hill. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and use this Terra tape from Imagine Crafts. This is double-sided super sticky tape, and I'm going to put it on the perimeter of our card front, and then I'll just put a little piece in the center. This is how we're going to adhere our packaging to our card. To our card front panel, I should say. So here's my packaging. It's left over from stamps. You can use it from whatever you have, from stamps, from embellishments, anything you have is clear packaging. Now I'm going to remove the backing off all the adhesive I just laid down, and I'm going to go around and adhere 3 of the sides, and then I'm going to cut off on the corners any of the plastic that is overlapping, so that it lays flat once we go ahead and adhere to our card panels, so that so the corners don't pop up. Alright, so the top one we're going to wait. I'm going to repeat the process all around the 3 ends again of the Terra tape, right on top of the clear packaging, making sure to tuck in any of the excess packaging that may be sticking out. Alright, so I pressed that into place, and now we've created a little pocket. That's where we're going to pour in our Penguins Play in the Snow Claybits mix. This mix has a variety of little penguins and snowmen, some snowflakes, some clear iridescent beads, some little black beads. It's adorable little mix here. So I'm going to just go ahead and drop some of that into our card pocket, making sure we got everybody laying flat, and make any adjustments you need. And then you're going to remove the backing off the top area, and you're going to do the same thing, fold it over onto the card backing, trim any of the excess from the corners, and put another layer on top of the clear packaging of the Terra tape or any sticky double-sided tape you may have. And there is our card shaker panel. So I like to make sure everybody's laying flat, no puckering. This is me trying to show you a little close-up of our little snowmen and penguins in this mix. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this panel onto that glittered pattern paper, Then removing all the backing of the adhesive here that we just laid down. It's exposing the stickiness of the tape. I'm also going to use some Barely Art glue. Now, Imagine Craft's Terra tape is nice and sticky and strong, but it's quick contact. So wherever it sticks, it stays. So the Barely Art glue gives me a little wiggle room because if you're familiar with my channel, I don't always lay everything down straight the first time. So this allows me to get some, opportunity to get it straight. There's our shaker card, and now we're going to adhere this panel to our card base, again using our Barely Art glue. This panel is the same size as our card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to go ahead and line this up, get it straight on there, press it in place, and now we can move on to decorate with our penguins and our sentiment. Here's our little penguin. For this card, I'm going to make the little green, the penguin wearing the green hat and scarf, a little guy, and one wearing the little pink, the girl. But if you prefer your guy to wear the pink or the red, by all means, it's your card. But just so that you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and put this little guy down using foam adhesive. Just give him a little height here. And then I'm going to adhere the other little penguin flat onto the plastic. I'm using the Barely Art glue because it works great adhering paper to plastic or plastic to paper, however you like to say it. And I'm just going to put a little bit on there. I'm going to stick her down there on the card. Give her a nice firm press. And then I'm going to put him in front. To a slight little tilt there because he's trying to impress her there with his moves. And I went ahead and placed some of this parrot tape on the back using a little bit extra Barely Arts glue because I'm adhering our sentiment on a scrap piece of that glitter paper that we have as our background. I'm going to remove the backing of our Terra tape and adhere it to our front of our card, and our card is now complete. Super quick, super easy. Now I'm going to add a little extra more embellishing here. I pulled out 3 little snowflakes from the clay mix, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere them to the right corner. I'm going to place one on the actual sentiment next to the Y, and the other 2 on the blue glittered pattern paper. I'm using my embellishment one just here real quick just to place them in on our card, and I used some Barely Arts glue to adhere these little clay bits onto our card. And there you have it. There's our card. It's fun, and it's no extra to mail it out because it's a flat shaker. Again, this is for the Team Tiny Crescent Creations Hop. We use the Together for Holidays digital stamp set. We have a variety of images and sentiments in this set, and a Penguins Play in the Snow clay mix. I'll have everything linked below, but make sure to use the Team Tiny Creations Crescent Creations Hop 2 hashtag to follow along.